We're with Langston Johnson of the Trine University men's basketball team. So, Langston, tell us why you chose Trine to go to school.
Trine was one of the only schools that recruited me coming out of high school, so it was kind of, in that way, I just wanted to play basketball, so in that way it was kind of an easy choice. But after visiting the school, kind of getting to walk around campus, look at all the facilities and stuff, it was an obvious choice that Trine made, the right place for me to go.
You're a senior now. Looking back on your experience being recruited as a freshman or a senior in high school, what would you say is the biggest difference that you've noticed, maybe in yourself, but also making that transition from high school to college when you look back on it?
I think it's probably just the same as every single, no different from like the athletes that go from high school to college, or the non-athletes, whatever it may be. Everything's about time management. It makes it a little bit harder as an athlete just because you have practicing games and all that stuff. But just the time management part of it is huge, and then making sure that you're staying after schools while trying to improve yourself as a basketball player. In my sense, as a basketball player, and keeping the things that like the extracurricular stuff that I want to do and that will help better me in the future, making sure all that stuff gets done.
I guess looking back, if you were to advise a student in high school, a senior in high school who's looking to move on to college and continue their academics, what would be the biggest piece of advice you would give to that person through your experience as a college student in choosing where they would like to go, or what things you think would be important for them to consider when trying to make that decision?
I think it's just the best fit. So as far as, it's easy for me to look at it as an athlete. So, for me it was, what's the best basketball fit? What's the best athletic fit for me where I can come in and I can contribute and play and all that stuff? But it's also, I'm a communications major, so I knew that I wanted to do some broadcasting stuff or do some stuff in front of a microphone, and Trine was the perfect opportunity for me to do that. As I'm kind of saying, you're doing some of that right now. Some of that stuff was things that I had to look at when I was coming here. So I would say just the biggest thing is, what's the best fit? What's things that you like to do? Can you get involved in that stuff at the school that you're trying to choose? And if you can't, maybe it's not for you. And if you can, maybe that's the school you go to.
Since you're a student at Trine, a Division III school, you're obviously most familiar with the school and D3. But again, to a non-student athlete, just a regular student, you obviously probably know people who go to big schools, big Division I schools, Division II. What would you say is probably the biggest benefit to choosing a smaller school like a Trine or another Division III school over perhaps maybe choosing the big, well-known name like the University of Indiana or Purdue or a place like that?
I would say probably the biggest thing is probably the class size. It would have to be the class size, because for me, I'm not a huge sit in a lecture class type of guy where I can just sit in a lecture with like 100, 150 people in there and just be able to pay attention and take notes. I have a class right now that we have like 12 people in it, and it makes it really easy. The professors are more hands-on. The activities that we do are more hands-on and stuff like that. You get to really know the people in your class. It makes it a lot more fun. It makes it a lot more easy to just stay engaged with your schoolwork.
And another, maybe your last question in regards to just the general student. Thinking back on your own experience as a college student, what would you say has been the biggest adjustment that you've had to make from high school to college?
Time management. It's so cliche to say, but it's really the truth. Time management is the biggest thing, because you have an hour. Sometimes you have an hour class, and then you don't have a class for 2 hours, and it's so easy to just go back to your dorm, take a nap. Like when I first got here, that's what I always used to do. I had one class at 9, and then I have another one till 11. For an hour, I'd just go take a nap. Instead of, if I had homework from that class, I could just go knock it out right there in between that time period. And that's some of the stuff that I'm starting to pick up, that I did pick up now, as opposed to back then, is just the time management part is just the way more the most important of anything else.
Applying that to a student athlete, what would your biggest piece of advice to an incoming student athlete and who's not real experienced in the college atmosphere, the responsibilities that come with being in college? I know you mentioned time management, but what would be the biggest difference for the student athlete versus just the regular student?
I would probably say the thing that helps me is trying to be on a schedule. So I try to stay on a schedule as much as possible. Like, I know I have a class at 9, so then 9 to 10, I'm in class. Then right after that, maybe I don't have class until 12 again. So just go do homework in between that time. You have 2 hours. Just go knock out some of the homework that you have. Because sometimes I tell myself, I don't really have anything. You always have something. There's always something you can do. So go knock that out. If I want to go get shots up at the gym, then maybe after my 12 o'clock class, 12 to 1, go to the gym right after that, or go get something to eat and then go to the gym. You have practice later at night. So it's like the biggest thing I try to say is like just stay on the schedule. It makes it really easy. You're like, okay, between this time and this time, I know that this is what I'm trying to do. This is what I'm aiming to do. Obviously, depending on the day, some things fluctuate different. But you have some things that you just know, like I kind of want to do this at this time and this at this time. It makes it a little bit easier.
Thinking about the quality of the education that you're getting at the D3 level, small school D3 level, versus perhaps what somebody might experience at a D1 program, what kind of benefits do you think in your mind there are to being a D3 athlete versus maybe a D1 athlete in regards to schoolwork or just getting to that phase of being on your own, being more independent overall?
I think it just depends on the university and what you're looking for. Like Trine University is known for our engineering, so you want to go to one of the top engineering schools, you come to Trine, and being an athlete is just added bonus. It gives you even if I'm not nowhere near an engineering student, I can only imagine the work and stuff that they do. But like if I would want to be, if I was playing football and then doing engineering on the side of that, I know what I want to do is engineering, and I'm going to one of the best engineering schools in the country. But also, I get to do what I love, play football. So I think that's really just the biggest thing. I talked about class sizes, and that makes a huge difference in how people learn. It makes it a little bit easier to get help from the professors and all that stuff. But as far as just that, like I said before, I think it just goes to fit. And so, if you are good enough to go play at Division I level, or you have the opportunity to play at Division I level, and the school fits you better, then maybe that's what you want to do. But also, if the school fits you better at the Division III level, then that's what you should do. It's not as much paying attention to the divisions as it is, where you're fit, where you can be the most comfortable.